Short sale power hour. Short sale power hour. Crush it.
Keep going.
Kevin, but I thought that's how we end the episode.
So did Coach.
Yeah, well, actually, yesterday we forgot to end the episode that way.
So did Bob.
And Bobblehead Bob had a little rough experience. Thank you for checking Bobblehead Bob on the floor.
We're actually going to have a Spanish pastor say the last rights over him here.
En el nombre de Jesús.
Okay, all right, back to business. Let's get serious. Okay, guys, so here's the deal. Yesterday we talked a little bit about some of the mistakes that get made in the first 30 days with getting a coordinator assigned and finding out who actually has your file, okay? So it's very important that you actually know what's going on in your transaction. And by going on, I mean not just nodding your head and saying yes to everything the bank tells you. You've got to come from a position of authority in the first 30 days. Not just in getting your BPO ordered, but in finding out who has your file, making sure all the documents are there, and getting an idea around how their process really works.
Might you also want to know how to get in touch with the person who has
It might actually be helpful because how many banks do we talk to nowadays that it's like, hey, well, how do I get a hold of Sarah, who's my negotiator? Oh, we don't give that phone number out.
We don't give direct extensions.
She doesn't have a direct extension.
Oh, we don't do external email.
Well, can I get Sarah's email address? No, we don't know. There's no outgoing email here at Chase Bank. We don't have outgoing email. I mean, are you freaking kidding me?
No, they're not kidding you. That's how silly they are.
Okay, guys, so here's a tip. A lot of you out there have heard us say this if you've heard us teach live here in the Phoenix area, but for those of you that have never heard, this is going to be a huge tip. Guys, every bank has a standard email
naming convention.
What do I want to call it?
That's a good question.
An email
structure.
Structure. Thank you. That's a good word.
Wow.
Standard email structure. So, for example, first name dot last name at bank.com. First initial last name at bank.com. First name dot middle initial dot last name at bank.com.
First name dot x dot last name at
chase.com.
Yes.
I'll give that one. I'll give that one away.
In fact, if you want more Chase email addresses, let me know and I'll give them to you.
I'll give you.
I just opened that up. Chase is totally on the books. I'll give it away.
Did you guys hear that though? Some of you already know that, but some of you out there are missing that. So I want to make sure we're really clear on that. Understand that if you know the email structure of a bank, it's not very difficult to identify how to get in touch with your negotiator. I will go on record right now and say that the communication hub, communication central number one in a short sale transaction is email. Okay?
You don't need to ever be on the phone unless you need to talk about numbers, and you don't need to even do that.
I don't even think this is a rash comment or even out in left field by saying this, but I would say every 3 phone calls that I make to a negotiator, the voicemail box is full.
Oh, at least.
I mean, seriously, I feel like at least 1 in every 3 people that I try to call at the bank has a full voicemail.
Meaning you can't get a hold of them. What makes you think you're going to catch them on the phone?
What makes you think they listen to the messages? They just delete. Now, I'm not saying every bank does that. There are some banks out there that have different practices, don't have as many files, etc.
Not all of them are that bad.
No, but understand the email structure is really important. So we're going to challenge you today to do some research and find out the email structure. If you don't know a bank's email structure, I'll give you one solution. Consider going ahead and talking to our friends over at Short Sale Genius, Trent and Lee. They've got a subscription service to their online thing, which conference calls it. They give away all that information.
Here's another one. Go to the corporate website. Find a generic email address for like HR. Apply for a job there. See what happens.
Yeah, actually do a Google search called Bank of America email. Maybe you might find some Bank of America email addresses.
Yeah.
Wow.
The internet's a powerful tool.
Stepping into high tech.
Quit disrespecting it.
So here's the deal, guys. What I want to challenge, what we're going to talk about more tomorrow, is pre-escalating. Pre-escalating, okay? But pre-escalating starts by finding out who your negotiator is and finding out who they report to and who they report to and who they report to and who that person reports to.
When you say the word pre-escalating, you're making it sound like you're going to do something before you do it.
I'm going to do something before I need it, Kevin, and I'm going to explain more of that tomorrow.
Are you thinking with the end in mind again?
I am, Kevin. Always.
Wow.
Okay, so Bobblehead Bob, rest in peace. I hope you guys got something out of today's episode. Seriously, guys, first 30 days, if I haven't said enough, be the detective. Play detective Find out the email address of the negotiator. Ask lots of good, pointed questions, and stop just doing this every time the bank gives you an answer.
Or you'll end up
challenge
like,
them. Even if you've never worked with that bank before, say, well, that's not been my experience in the past. I don't care. Challenge them.
Change your freaking experience.
And one more thing. We need to say this, Kevin, because we haven't said this yet. When they tell you the coordinator's name is Sarah Moore.
Jones.
Don't just assume you know how to spell Sarah or Jones or Moore or whatever the case may be. Ask the person on the other end of the phone to spell the name. Why might you do that? Because when you get ready to email that person, the spelling of their name might be important. And there's lots of ways to spell Sarah.
You also may find out that her name's really Sasha, and that the person who was reading the notes to you,
that's my favorite,
quite honestly, just didn't care enough to take time to read. But when you make her spell it to you, you actually find out the truth.
That's my favorite.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
Whatever. I just like to produce.
Come on back tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit more about pre-escalation. I think we need to do another cheer.
Are you going to invite them to our class in New Orleans?
Oh, I keep forgetting to do that, Kevin. Hey, Family Reunion 2010, New Orleans, Keller Williams event. Find us online. We're teaching. We'll see you there. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Short sale power hour.
Short sale power hour.
Crush it.